All right, so we're going to be talking about the thing that you and I are on right now, which is Zoom.
Okay.
My new Outschool friend teachers, if you do not yet know how to use Zoom, this is
Ah,
essential. This is where you are teaching. This is your classroom, right?
yeah, gotta know it.
You
Yeah.
think of learning all the buttons and the controls, like setting up your library on your right before school started, getting your bulletin boards organized, putting your rulers into place and knowing where your stapler is. All of those things are essential for your brick and mortar classroom. But when you're in an online classroom, knowing how your controls work is more important because you're going to find out really quickly what you don't know in all the
I
worst
knew
kinds
that
of
kid and I
ways.
need to turn that kid's camera off quick. That really is not, and you don't know how to do that. It's gonna get bad quick.
Oh my goodness, I just had to do that yesterday because I was teaching an art class and the kids are between 5 and 8. And this cute little sister came on screen naked as the day is long. She's just standing there, chilling. She's like 2. No
Have,
one's gonna
have
really
you
care about that,
ever
but
done that yet? Walk past behind the child, and the parents obviously not clued or remembered, and it's definitely not decent. And yeah, that's once that's happened. And oh, the parent at the beginning of the class. That's a good point. I always start talking of Zoom. I always start my Zoom. There's a setting, we'll go over this, where you start your Zoom with your camera off and your mute on. And so that gives you, the teacher, a 30-second, like, you don't just turn it on and all of a sudden the camera's on and boom, it gives you a second to go, okay, adjust, make sure I look right and everything's sensible and where it should be. Great. And then I turn my camera on, rather than just my daughter running into the room and going, dad, and I'm like, no, my camera's still not. Yeah, good, okay, and we do it that way. But it's a really nice way of making sure that, yeah, the teacher, is only on screen with what they want, but also knowing how to turn off the camera, how to put kids in the waiting room, how to mute something, and as well as sharing screen, because sometimes I'm always very nervous with sharing a screen with students. Not sharing my screen, but letting them share theirs.
oh yeah,
It's,
letting them
it's
share their screen, you had
yeah.
better know that student really, really well.
And if that's what I was going to say, is I've only ever allowed students to share screen when they are the only student. I won't allow a student to share a screen when there are other students in the class. I just, as a general rule, if there's a student and there are others, I go, sorry, it's just not appropriate for this kind of class setting. If you want to show me later or send me a video, that's fine. But if it's just a one-to-one, or they're the only one that showed up and I'm like, yeah, go for it. I can deal with the catastrophe if that happens.
Yeah,
So
when possible, I go share it in the chat for us. If share it with me in the chat, and then if it's appropriate, I will screen share and
yeah,
share this thing that you really want to share.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
And talking of sharing, also on the teacher's side, when I also have another rule. If I ever share anything, I don't just go and click share and then open the file from the share.